Just wanted to share with you a few minutes uh, about not being transactional in the death care space. Just take me as your death care funeral business unk, and just wanted to drop a little knowledge. I said, don't be transactional. Uh, while I am a savvy enough businessman to know that profit isn't an option in business, it's an objective. However, we can't just be transactional in this business. One of the worst careers to embark upon, if you're totally transactional, is a career in the death care space. If you have uh, nothing pushing you in this industry besides a dollar, then this might not be the career for you. I'm 3 years removed from being replaced as a general manager of a property of a large death care group. I had started out as a sales counselor at this same property some 13, 14 years earlier for a mere $300 a week salary. My wife thought I had lost my mind after many successful years in the automobile sales business, and even seeing some success in some other spaces. Started this job in late 2008, and when I worked my last day in 2022, I had seen a cemetery that not everyone knew about become a household name. In a company with over 300 properties at one time, how about this cemetery that was nice but didn't have a permanent building, still had a trailer, become one of the 10 most profitable in the company for a space of time? We never had a large advertising budget, so we built our following organically for the most part. There wasn't a mausoleum, although we did put a cremation niche out there. It still, I don't think, ever really caught fire. It was a traditional burial cemetery. We did around 700 burials in 2021, and that is because I personally turned down over 100 burials in 2021. I had a license to print money in 2021 during COVID, but I knew we had limitations that we needed to respect. COVID drove sales that year, but one had to be reasonable and treat COVID with respect, or the employees would pay the price and the business would pay the price. I cared about my people and I fought for them at corporate, even when some of them fought back against me. My problem started because I was bold enough to say that one size doesn't fit all in a large company. I said that every group of people had a right to be distinct. I told my corporate higher-ups that no one would ask a Jewish person to bury in a couple of weeks because the world knew of their customs. I told them that whether you want to say it or not, Black people are distinct, and we have our own customs that we've embraced for the years. If you're in the rural South, Big Mama wants her fune, F-U-N-E. Often, I know the word is funeral, but I'm saying she wants her fune on Saturday, not Saturday. I know the word is Saturday and Saturday. And if it's a small enough rural town in the South, Big Mama really wants them to just wait till right after 11 o'clock service on Sunday and they start her funeral. So there's just something, every group has a right to be distinct. I not only love my customers, I studied them. I walked every one of my families to the car after our arrangement meeting. I knew that when they started the car up, I would hear gospel music playing most of the time. I met pastors at the cemetery. They were shocked when my wife and I visited their churches after I met them. If you want to be great in this space, you can't be transactional. The applause at times, no matter how great a job that you do, are far too spaced out. You can help a family to crazy lips and bend over backwards, and it seems like the one that you do the most for fight you the hardest. How can you be transactional when it's so hard to get the families that you do serve, each family member on one page? It was a goal of mine before every arrangement meeting to become a member of each family that I serve by the time that our arrangement meeting was over. I saw that happen countless times. I'm still invited to family dinners, and sister so-and-so that's 70 tells me about how baby sister not acting right. And I'm in all these little situations, all because I became part of the family. We had a Korean garden at the cemetery that I managed, and I started to know the Korean churches in the area, the Korean families. I know which part was really their part, and I knew, and if you treated them right, they treated you like family. And I garnered many admirers from the white community because the cemetery that I managed was mostly white when I arrived. So some found it hard to take listening to me, especially after I became the last word on weekends. There's no one at corporate that you can call. You got a decision. You either do it, you talk to me about it, or it doesn't happen. Because if you don't talk to me about it, it's not happening. There would be no one to call over my head on weekends. So they needed to get it worked out with me. I couldn't be transactional no matter how much I wanted to get someone back, because they still have a death. A death in any family sets off triggers and stress regardless of the race of the decedent and his family. Deathcare can be thankless work with long days, arguing and bickering families. And I know you see the suits and the cars, but Deathcare doesn't make most rich. Deathcare will afford you a good living and a standing in the community, but it doesn't make most rich. Can it make anyone wealthy? Of course it can. But normally it's those business people who respect good business practices and put the time in, put the work in. I taught my sales team that every service was about that family and not about us. If we served that family great, they may remember our job was to serve each family great enough that they would desire for us to serve them again. Here are the growing concerns in the cemetery world, and even sometimes in the deathcare funeral industry. Cremation is threatening the wherewithal of the growth of some cemeteries. Cemeteries must now pivot and become innovative. Where do they find the staff to do so when so many will come to work only until they find a real job or outlast some short-lived pay guarantee? I've been gone from my job about 3.5 years now, and my cell phone still rings with cemetery clients of my former employer. They're upset because the cemetery can't keep staff. What child goes to school most times and says, when I grow up, I will run a cemetery? They would probably be laughed out of the school. Deathcare is full of business transaction, but you can't be transactional if you want to succeed in this space. You have to possess a purpose, even an obsession to be great in your space. What I see to my chagrin are so many in the space being transactional. When I was brought into this business, the masters of this space taught me that this business was a sacred thing. Whether you're large or small in this space, don't be transactional. If you treat your families with care and your purpose aligns with serving them as well as you can every time that you serve, then I can see success coming your way. Once your name rings in the industry and your personal case numbers start to expand and abound, changes in pay and changes in status will come. I firmly believe that the road to get to this hallowed space is not to be a transactional funeral professional on the way there. The superstars in this space focus on people and not transactions. Keep your focus on your families, and soon your relationships will start to write your check. Study your craft, align with best practices, stand for something. Being asked to do wrong by an employer is wrong. Stand for right, stand for your families. Be blessed.